Welcome, curious minds, to The Deep Dive.
Great to be here.
Today, we're plunging headfirst into a topic that, well, it touches every single one of us, whether we realize it or not.
Pretty much daily.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Every time we make a purchase, really. We're talking about building brand value.
A huge topic.
Huge. And we're going to unpack the essential concepts behind creating and sustaining truly powerful brands. We've got insights from a really comprehensive presentation that kind of lays out the blueprint for success in today's market.
Yeah, it's a good one. It really gets into the nitty-gritty.
It does. Like, why do some brands just get us? You know, they
Right.
become part of our lives while others just fade away.
It's not accidental, that's for sure. There's a science and an art to it.
We're basically uncovering the hidden blueprint behind that magic, starting right from its DNA. And as always, if you want to dive even deeper into the original stuff, the actual presentation, you can find the links on SlideGround and SlideShare. They're right there in our bio.
Definitely worth checking out.
Okay, let's unpack this right from the top. When we talk about brand value, the foundational concept, the very bedrock, is what's known as brand equity.
Right. That's the starting point for everything else.
So in the simplest terms, what are we really talking about here?
Well, fundamentally, brand equity is the additional value, the extra bit, you could say, that a brand brings to a product or service.
So it's not just the physical thing or the service itself.
Exactly. It's not just about the tangible features. It's rooted much deeper in something far more intangible. It's about how consumers perceive the brand, how they feel about it, how easily they recognize it.
Okay, perception and feeling. Like, think about why so many people choose an iPhone, maybe, over another smartphone that might have incredibly similar features, or maybe even better specs on paper, sometimes for less money.
That's a perfect example. It's rarely just about the hardware specs, is it?
No, not at all. It's that inherent trust, maybe the perceived status, the seamless ecosystem.
Yeah, all of that. That's the brand equity talking. It's the sum of all those feelings and associations.
Gotcha.
And what's truly insightful here, I think, is that brand equity isn't always a positive force. It's not guaranteed good.
Oh, interesting. How so?
Well, you can think of it like a spectrum, almost like a financial asset that can go up or down in value. It can appreciate or depreciate.
Okay.
So we talk about positive brand equity when consumers have genuinely favorable perceptions, good attitudes towards a brand. Apple is the classic case, like you said. But think about Coca-Cola, too. For decades, that brand has evoked feelings of, joy, refreshment, shared moments.
Yeah, that classic red and white, it means something.
It really does. And this positive equity, it translates into real loyalty and, importantly, a willingness to pay a bit more, even for something as simple as, well, a fizzy drink.
So it's about that deep-seated trust, that connection, the thing that makes you instinctively reach for that one on the shelf because you kind of know what you're getting and you trust the experience.
Precisely. It becomes a mental shortcut for the consumer. It simplifies choice.
Right.
But on the flip side, you have negative brand equity.
Okay, so the opposite situation.
Exactly. This happens when a brand is perceived poorly, maybe because of product failures or ethical missteps, past scandals, things like that. The source material uses an example like a fictional brand, Blueberry.
Right, I saw that.
Yeah, maybe a placeholder name, but it makes the point really vividly. A brand that might have started with promise can be severely hampered, maybe even destroyed, if it gets a reputation for, say, poor quality or unreliability.
So like a product launch goes badly wrong, or there's a big safety recall.
Things like that. And what's truly insightful, I think, is that negative brand equity isn't just about losing sales today. It's about creating this deep, long-lasting trust deficit. It can make even future products, maybe ones that are genuinely improved, really hard to sell.
Wow, so the past literally haunts the brand's future.
It really can, sometimes irreversibly. It just proves that perception often becomes reality in the marketplace. The tangible impact of these perceptions, positive or negative, is just profound.
Yeah.
Positive equity drives sales, allows for that premium pricing we talked about, fosters loyalty. But negative equity, it can absolutely sink a brand, almost regardless of the quality of its current stuff.
It's a powerful testament to that idea that, yeah, perception is reality for consumers.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we understand what brand equity is and this idea that it can be positive or negative. It's dual nature. But here's where it gets, I think, really interesting. Why is it such a game changer for any business? Understanding this is just crucial.
Absolutely.
It's clearly not just about some fuzzy, warm feeling consumers have. It must translate into real strategic advantages, right?
Yeah.
The kind that can make or break a company.
Completely. If you connect this to the bigger picture, strong brand equity essentially provides a powerful competitive moat. It defends your market share.
A moat? I like that.
Yeah, and it systematically delivers these 5 key benefits. What's interesting is how they reinforce each other, creating this kind of virtuous cycle for the brand. Think of it like compounding interest on an investment.
Okay, a virtuous cycle.
Yeah.
What are the 5 benefits?
All right, so first, it increases consumer loyalty.
Okay, loyalty. Makes sense.
When consumers have that positive feeling, that positive brand equity, they develop a much stronger, often emotional connection to the brand. And this moves them beyond just, transactional relationships, buying something once towards sustained loyalty. They're not just buying a product, they're actively choosing your brand again and again.
Right. They become repeat customers because of the brand itself.
Exactly. And here's a surprising truth, maybe. Strong brand equity actually turns your existing customers into your most cost-effective marketing team. They talk about it, they recommend it.
Word of mouth.
Precisely, which significantly reduces the expensive churn of constantly having to chase new customers. It builds a consistent, reliable revenue stream from people who already trust you.
That's a crucial point. It really is about building a loyal community, isn't it? Not just like an email list.
Absolutely, a community.
And that community presumably is willing to stick with you even if a competitor pops up with something slightly cheaper. Because they're invested in your brand, the whole package, not just the product features or price tag.
Precisely. That connection trumps minor differences. And that leads directly into the second benefit. It permits elevated pricing.
The ability to charge more.
Yeah. Think about premium brands. Maybe a high-end coffee shop or a luxury car maker. They can command significantly higher prices for what is fundamentally, coffee or a way to get around. Why? Because consumers perceive a greater value, maybe better quality, or just a more desirable experience associated with that specific brand.
Right, the badge on the car means something beyond just transport.
Exactly. That trust and perceived value allows strong brands to charge more than competitors, even for products that are objectively quite comparable.
And that directly impacts the bottom line.
Hugely. It impacts profit margins directly, giving the brand a massive competitive advantage. It allows them to reinvest more, maybe in R&D or marketing, or even offer better employee benefits, which, in turn, can further strengthen the brand's foundation. It fuels the cycle.
Okay, so loyalty, higher prices.
Yeah.
What's third?
Third, strong brand equity stimulates growth in market share.
How does that work?
Well, when consumers prefer your brand, they're obviously more likely to choose it. They might buy it more often. And crucially, they recommend it to others. That positive word of mouth we mentioned. This organic advocacy, it leads to wider adoption, a greater market presence, often without needing a proportionally bigger marketing budget. The strong brand itself becomes like a magnet.
Pulling in new customers.
Yeah, drawing them in simply because of its reputation and its established appeal, often at a much lower customer acquisition cost than trying to convince strangers from scratch.
So in essence, the brand itself becomes your most powerful salesperson. People already have that positive association. They trust it. They're willing to vouch for it.
Yeah, absolutely. The reputation precedes the sale. And this trust also facilitates the fourth benefit. Brand diversification.
Moving into new areas.
Exactly. An established, trusted brand finds it much easier to extend into new product categories or even entirely new markets. Apple is the go-to example again.
Right. Computers, the music players, phones, watches, services.
Yeah, even entertainment now. Or think about Virgin.
Oh, yeah. Music, airlines, trains, banking, space travel.
Right. All leveraging that core Virgin brand promise, that sort of challenger, customer-focused vibe. Why does it work? Because consumers trust the Virgin name to deliver a certain type of experience, regardless of the industry.
So that trust reduces the risk for the consumer when trying something new from that brand.
Significantly reduces the perceived risk. If a brand has built up this reservoir of goodwill, of reliability in one area, consumers are just far more willing to try their offerings in another. They expect the brand's promise of quality or experience will likely carry over.
Makes sense. Okay, what's the fifth one?
And finally, the fifth benefit. And you could argue it's the most fundamental. Brand equity builds trust and preference.
Back to trust again?
It really is the bedrock. Trust is the foundation of any successful, long-term brand-consumer relationship. When consumers trust a brand, they're more likely to believe its claims, rely on its products, maybe even forgive the occasional small misstep.
Mm-hmm.
And this preference that grows out of trust translates into consumers actively seeking out your brand, maybe bypassing competitors entirely, and becoming your advocates.
So it's not just about selling a product, it's building that ongoing relationship.
Exactly. A relationship that encourages active engagement, recommendation. It often makes the purchase decision almost habitual, an easy default choice for the consumer.
It's really clear these benefits aren't just like separate bullet points on the list.
Yeah.
They're deeply interconnected, aren't they?
Completely.
They form this powerful, virtuous cycle for brands. Loyalty lets you charge more, which helps you grow market share, which gives you the platform to diversify. And underpinning it all is that foundation of trust. It's a truly compelling, self-reinforcing ecosystem when it works well.
Absolutely. It's a powerful engine for growth.
So we've covered what brand equity is and why it's so incredibly crucial. Now, the obvious next question is, well, how do brands actually build this amazing value?
The how-to.
Yeah. What are the proactive, actionable steps they can take? How do you cultivate it from the ground up? It can't just happen by accident.
No, definitely not. And this raises that important question. What are the actual practical strategies? The source highlights 4 core strategies for building brand equity that are, well, they're absolutely critical for any brand looking to establish a strong, lasting presence.
Okay, 4 core strategies. Let's break them down. What's the first one?
First, a brand must communicate brand meaning.
Brand meaning. What does that entail?
It means clearly defining what the brand stands for. Its core values, its unique selling proposition, its personality even. It's about articulating why the brand exists, what problem it solves for the customer, and what promise it makes to them.
Okay, so it's the soul of the brand almost.
You could say that. And this communication, it needs to be crystal clear, absolutely consistent, and pervasive. It has to show up across all channels.
Like everywhere the customer encounters the brand.
Everywhere. Advertising, social media, packaging, website copy, internal communications for employees, even employee training. The goal here is to create this distinct, undeniable identity in the consumer's mind. Make the brand easily recognizable and strongly associated with specific attributes or benefits.
Right, so people know immediately what you're about.
Exactly. Without that clarity, a brand just feels generic or maybe confused, and it gets easily forgotten in a crowded market.
So it's not just about what you sell, it's about what you represent and how you consistently, relentlessly articulate that. Like, if you're an eco-friendly brand, every single message from the recycled packaging to your Instagram posts has to echo that commitment to sustainability.
Exactly. It has to be authentic and consistent, which ties directly into the second strategy. Deliver consistent brand experience.
Consistency again. This seems important.
Hugely important. Every single touch point a consumer has with your brand. Think about it. The product itself, their interaction with customer service, how easy your website is to use, the tone of your marketing emails, even the experience of unboxing the product.
All those little moments.
All of them. They must align flawlessly with the brand's promise and that meaning we just talked about.
And if they don't,
Inconsistency erodes trust faster than almost anything else. It diminishes brand equity. If a brand claims, say, it's premium, but then you get stuck on hold with terrible customer service for an hour.
yeah, that disconnect is jarring.
It really is. Or if a brand promises cutting-edge innovation, but their app feels clunky and outdated, that disconnect severely damages its standing. Consistency builds reliability, predictability. And those are absolute cornerstones of trust, essential for building long-term equity.
Okay, so communicate meaning, deliver consistency. What's number 3?
Third, brands should build loyalty programs.
Like frequent flyer miles or coffee shop punch cards.
Yeah, those are classic examples. But it can be much broader. These are basically mechanisms designed to incentivize repeat purchases and encourage deeper engagement with the brand.
Oh.
It could be through points and rewards, like you said, or maybe exclusive access to sales or new products, or even building a sense of community, perhaps through a members-only forum or events.
Okay.
The purpose isn't just to drive the next transaction. It's about deepening the relationship with your existing customers, turning them into advocates, fostering genuine advocacy. When customers feel valued, when they feel rewarded for for their loyalty, they're far more likely to stick around, maybe increase their spending over time, and become active promoters of the brand. They essentially become your unpaid marketers.
That makes perfect sense. You want to make your best customers feel like VIPs, right? Not just another number on a spreadsheet. Turn them into true evangelists for your brand.
Absolutely. Treat them like insiders.
Okay, so meaning consistency, loyalty programs. Is there a fourth core strategy?
Well, it's not explicitly listed as a separate point here for building, but it's definitely implicit, especially when we look later at devising the overall strategy. It's the crucial idea to innovate and adapt.
So not getting complacent.
Exactly. While you absolutely need to maintain that core identity and consistency, brands must continually evolve. They need to offer newness, solve emerging customer problems, or refine their offerings just to stay relevant.
So building equity isn't a one-time job.
Not at all. It's not static. It requires foresight, responsiveness to market dynamics. A brand that just stands still, even if it built strong equity in the past, risks becoming obsolete. Think about companies like, well, Blockbuster.
Yeah, a classic example of failing to adapt.
Right. They didn't adapt to new technologies, new consumer behaviors like streaming, and that strong brand equity they once had just evaporated. Innovation and adaptation are crucial for sustaining that value over time.
Right, so building that equity is clearly a huge undertaking with those strategies around meaning, consistency, loyalty, and adaptation. But it's just the beginning, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Step one.
It's definitely not a set it and forget it kind of thing. Once you've cultivated that value, it needs continuous proactive management. You have to nurture it to ensure it grows, or at least doesn't erode over time.
You're absolutely right. Once built, brand equity needs ongoing vigilance. Constant attention to maintain and ideally grow it. The source outlines 4 crucial activities for effectively managing brand equity. Think of them as a continuous feedback loop.
Okay, a management loop. What's the first activity?
First, you have to constantly monitor brand performance.
Keep track of how it's doing.
Exactly. This means rigorously tracking key metrics. Things like brand awareness, are people aware of you? Consumer perception, what do they actually think and feel about you? You can measure this through sentiment analysis online, surveys, focus groups, and of course, hard numbers like sales figures, market share, and also customer feedback from reviews, support calls, social media comments.
So gathering data from everywhere.
Pretty much. It's about having your finger firmly on the pulse. How is your brand actually performing out there in the market? How is it being received by consumers? This data helps you identify what's working well, what needs improvement, maybe highlights potential threats on the horizon, or new opportunities you hadn't seen.
Yeah, are people's perceptions actually aligning with the image you want to project? Are sales going the way you expect?
Precisely. This monitoring is the essential foundation for making informed, agile decisions about the brand. You can't manage what you don't measure.
So it's like having a clear, live dashboard of your brand's health, basically. What's working, what's not, and where you might need to pivot or adjust course.
Exactly, a brand health dashboard.
Yeah.
And based on that picture you get from monitoring, the second activity is to reinforce brand positioning.
Positioning.
Yeah.
Making sure people know where you stand.
Yes. And doing it consistently. Brands have to constantly communicate their unique position in the market relative to competitors. This isn't a one-time exercise you do at launch. It's an ongoing effort.
Ongoing.
Because you need to ensure consumers' perceptions stay aligned with the brand's desired image. Market dynamics shift constantly, new competitors emerge, consumer preferences evolve. Continuous reinforcement makes sure the brand's unique value proposition stays top of mind and, crucially, remains relevant.
So keep reminding people who you are and why you matter.
Essentially, yes. Reiterating who you are, what you stand for, and why you're the better choice. Through every single marketing campaign, every product launch, every customer interaction, keep hammering that message home.
Okay, monitor, reinforce. What's next?
Third, it's absolutely crucial to respond to market trends.
Be agile, adapt.
Exactly. Brands need to be agile and adaptable. This means being acutely aware of and ready to respond to changing consumer preferences, new technological advancements, shifts in the competitive landscape, even societal changes.
And if you don't?
Failing to adapt can lead to stagnation and ultimately irrelevance. We mentioned Blockbuster before, a classic cautionary tale, right? A powerful brand that failed to adequately respond to the digital streaming trend. And as a result, it lost its once dominant market position pretty spectacularly. Staying current, evolving with the times, it's just non-negotiable for long-term brand health. It really requires foresight and sometimes the courage to make difficult pivots when necessary.
You can't just stick your head in the sand.
Yeah.
Okay, what's the fourth management activity?
And fourth, vitally important but maybe less glamorous, is to protect brand assets legally.
The legal stuff, trademarks and things.
Exactly. This involves safeguarding both your tangible and intangible assets. We're talking about registering trademarks for your brand name and logo, securing copyrights for your creative work, applying for patents to protect your unique inventions or processes. But it also includes emphasizing the legal protection of the brand name itself. The logo, slogans, unique colors, sounds, maybe any distinctive element that identifies your brand.
Why is this so critical for managing equity?
Because it prevents dilution or misuse by competitors. It ensures exclusivity. It maintains the integrity of your brand identity in the marketplace. Without strong legal protection, all that hard work you did building brand equity could be seriously undermined by copycats or counterfeiters.
Yeah, that could cost you significant market share and damage your reputation, too.
Absolutely. Legal protection is the shield that guards the value you've built.
Okay, so we've covered a lot what brand equity is, why it's a game changer, the strategies to build it, and then the ongoing activities to manage it.
The whole life cycle.
But all of that needs like an overarching plan,
Right.
a guiding force to make sure all these pieces work together effectively.
Exactly.
And that's where devising a powerful branding strategy comes in, I assume. It's the master blueprint that ensures all these efforts are aligned and heading in the same direction.
That's a perfect way to put it. To connect this to the bigger picture, a well-defined branding strategy is the absolute strategic foundation upon which all successful, sustainable brand building rests. The source identifies 4 critical pillars that make up an effective branding strategy. These ensure cohesion and sustained relevance over the long haul.
4 pillars for the strategy itself.
Okay.
What's the first one?
The first is the strategic roadmap.
Roadmap. Sounds straightforward.
Well, it's more than just a vague idea of where you're going. It needs to be a comprehensive, meticulously planned guide. It directs all brand-building activities with clear purpose and direction.
And without one?
Without a clear roadmap, brand efforts can easily become fragmented, maybe inconsistent, reactive rather than proactive, and ultimately ineffective. You end up wasting resources and creating a muddled brand image in the consumer's mind.
Right.
This roadmap clearly defines where the brand is heading, how it intends to get there, and crucially, what key performance indicators, or KPIs, will measure progress along the way. It prevents those ad hoc, reactive decisions and ensures every single action contributes meaningfully to the long-term brand vision.
So it's like having a detailed GPS and a planned itinerary for your brand journey, not just wandering around hoping you end up somewhere good.
Precisely. A clear destination and a clear path. And that roadmap ties directly into the second pillar, internal alignment.
Internal alignment, getting everyone inside the company on board.
Exactly. And this is a truly crucial aspect. It's often overlooked, maybe seen as soft stuff, but it's absolutely vital for success. A strong branding strategy has to unify all internal teams around shared objective.
Everyone, from the top down.
Everyone, from the CEO to the person answering the customer service line, to the folks on the manufacturing floor, to the sales team out in the field. Every single employee needs to understand, believe in, and ideally embody the brand's values and promise.
Why is that so critical?
Because it ensures absolute consistency in messaging and behavior across every single customer touchpoint. Think about it. Imagine a brand that runs ads touting its amazing, friendly customer service. But then when you call, the sales team is pushy or unresponsive, or the delivery team is late and unhelpful. That internal misalignment creates a jarring, disjointed customer experience.
Yeah, it instantly breaks the promise and erodes trust.
Instantly. When everyone internally is on the same page, singing from the same hymn sheet, the brand experience becomes seamless, authentic, and much more powerful.
Okay, roadmap, internal alignment. What's pillar number 3?
Third, a strong strategy needs to achieve a balance between consistency with adaptability.
That tension again. Being consistent but also flexible.
Exactly. It's a fascinating paradox, really, the dynamic tension you have to manage. On the one hand, you absolutely must preserve the core brand identity elements, the things that make your brand uniquely recognizable. That could be the logo, signature colors, a tagline, foundational value.
The non-negotiables.
Right. But at the same time, the strategy must allow for flexibility. The brand has to be able to evolve with market changes, shifting consumer preferences, new technologies, without losing its very essence.
Can you give an example?
Sure, think of a classic car brand. They might update their car models every single year with new tech and styling tweaks, but the core design language, maybe that signature engine sound, the brand's heritage, those things remain consistent. The core values, like performance or luxury, stay steadfast. Or a tech company might update its logo or change its advertising style over time, but its core value proposition, maybe around innovation or ease of use, remains constant.
So it's about being stable enough that people recognize you, but agile enough so you don't become a dinosaur?
Perfectly put. Stable enough to be recognized, agile enough to remain perpetually relevant.
Okay, and the fourth pillar?
The fourth pillar is ensuring ongoing relevance and differentiation.
Staying relevant and standing out.
Yes, and it involves a continuous dynamic balancing act. A branding strategy must constantly work to keep the brand distinctive, different from competitors, and relevant, meaningful to customers in this ever-changing, super competitive landscape.
How do you do that?
It's about continuously identifying what makes you unique, what makes you stand out, and then relentlessly reinforcing that difference in ways that matter to your audience. As new competitors inevitably enter the market or consumer needs shift, the brand has to be able to adjust its positioning, maybe refine its offerings, tweak its messaging to maintain its unique appeal and continue to resonate.
So the goal is to avoid becoming just another commodity, another option.
Exactly. You want to be the preferred choice. A true leader in your space, constantly reinforcing why you're different and better.
What's fascinating about digging into brand strategy is how it seems to distill down these big, complex ideas into incredibly potent guiding principles.
It clarifies things.
And right at the very core of this, almost like a secret internal code or a handshake for the company, is this concept of the brand mantra.
Ah, yes, the mantra. Very powerful.
It seems like it's the absolute essence of the brand, crystallized into just a few words.
That's a great description. A brand mantra is indeed a short, very powerful phrase designed to capture the absolute essence of a brand's positioning and its core values.
And its main purpose is internal.
Primarily, yes. It's designed to be an internal guide. It acts as a kind of mental filter for employees.
A mental filter. How does that work?
Well, when every employee, regardless of their role, marketing, product development, customer service, whatever, understands and internalizes the brand mantra, it helps ensure that all their actions, their decisions, their communications align perfectly with the brand's true identity. Think of it like an organizational compass. Always pointing everyone in the same strategic direction, making sure they don't stray from the core mission.
So just to be clear, it's not usually a slogan that you'd see in advertising aimed at customers. It's more like an internal compass for the team, guiding their every move.
Exactly right. It's typically internal facing. While sometimes it might influence external slogans, its primary job is internal guidance and inspiration. It serves as a concise rallying cry.
Okay.
And because its job is to be memorable and filter decisions, it's usually very short, often just 3 to 5 words. It needs to be economical to be effective.
3 to 5 words to capture everything? That's challenging.
It is, but it has to effectively communicate what the brand is and, just as importantly, what the brand is not. That clarity helps prevent the brand from drifting off course, maybe trying to be too many things to too many people. It ensures focus and consistency.
Yeah. And if a company wants to design one, the source gives us 3 key principles, right, to make sure that mantra actually works.
Yes, 3 crucial principles for crafting an effective brand mantra. First, it must communicate. A good brand mantra has to clearly convey the brand's unique identity and its core essence. It should immediately evoke what the brand is all about without needing pages of explanation. It's like the brand's DNA compressed into word form, easily understood by everyone inside the organization.
Okay, communicate clearly. What's second?
Second, it needs to simplify. Being concise and incredibly easy to remember is paramount.
Keep it short and sicky.
Exactly. If it's too long or too complex or full of jargon, it just won't be adopted internally. It won't stick in people's minds, and it will fail as that useful mental filter. The shorter and more direct it is, the more impactful it becomes as a day-to-day guiding principle.
Makes sense. Communicate, simplify, and the third principle.
And third, it needs to inspire. The mantra should do more than just describe. It should motivate employees. It should resonate deeply with the brand's overarching mission and values.
Give people a sense of purpose.
Yes. Exactly. Give them a sense of shared purpose and direction, reminding them why they do what they do and what bigger goal they're all striving to build together as a collective. It should feel meaningful.
Got it.
So these three principles, communicate, simplify, and inspire together, ensure that the mantra isn't just, some words written down somewhere, but a living, breathing guide.
Yeah.
Something that actually galvanizes the entire organization towards achieving its shared brand vision.
Okay, so we have the strategy, we have the internal mantra guiding the team. What does this all mean for how a brand actually shows up in the market, how it presents itself?
The external piece.
Yeah. This brings us, I think, to the critical process of brand positioning, which is essentially, how does a brand want to be perceived? Where does it want to live in the minds of its target audience, especially when compared to all the competitors out there?
Exactly. It's about carving out your unique spot on the mental map of the consumer, defining your distinct mental real estate.
Mental real estate, I like that. It's valuable property.
It really is. And to zoom out a bit, effective brand positioning is absolutely fundamental to achieving any kind of sustainable competitive advantage. This source breaks down this pretty complex process into three distinct logical steps. Think of it as a strategic framework for finding your place.
Okay, 3 steps to positioning. What's step 1?
Step 001 is defining the competitive frame of reference.
Competitive frame of reference.
Yeah.
Understanding the battlefield.
Precisely. This first step is all about thoroughly understanding the playing field your brand operates on. And it has 2 crucial parts. First, you have to identify your competitors.
Okay, who are we up against?
The starting point here is usually thinking about category membership. So if you're a coffee shop, your most obvious competitors are other coffee shops.
Right.
But it's usually much more nuanced than just that. You need to think broadly. Competitors can be direct, so offering the exact same product or service to the same customers, like that other coffee shop down the street. Then there are indirect competitors. They offer a different product, maybe, but they fulfill the same core customer need. So for the coffee shop, maybe that's a tea house nearby or a juice bar. If the customer just wants a nice beverage and a place to sit and work for an hour, those are alternatives.
Gotcha. Same need, different solution.
Exactly. And then even broader, you have tertiary competitors. These are even broader alternatives that might meet a similar need in a very different way. For that coffee shop customer needing caffeine, maybe a vending machine is a tertiary competitor if they just need a quick fix on the go. Or even their own coffee maker at home is an alternative if they prefer to brew it themselves.
Wow, so you really need to think expansively about who the customer might choose instead of you.
Absolutely critical. Don't get tunnel vision on just the direct players. Once you've identified them, the second part of this step is to analyze these competitors.
Dig deeper into what they're doing.
Yes. This involves identifying who the key competitors are. You can't analyze everyone, and then systematically comparing them. Often, creating a competitor analysis table or matrix is really useful here.
Like a spreadsheet comparing features.
Features, pricing, target audience, strengths, weaknesses.
Yeah.
Yeah. This process also often includes doing a SWOT analysis for each key competitor, looking at their strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats to really understand their competitive stance. And evaluating their marketing strategies, what messages are they putting out? Where are they advertising? The source actually gives a fantastic illustrative example using a hypothetical crowdfunding platform. Imagine your platform compared to competitor A and competitor B. You'd compare critical factors side by side.
Like what?
Like their target market. Are they focused on youth in Nepal while another targets global creatives, their key features? Do they offer tiered rewards for donors while another focuses on facilitating offline donation events? Their pricing structure. Is it a flat 5% platform fee versus maybe no fees at all? Their website or app quality? Is one a slick mobile-first UI while another feels more polished and established? And maybe a third is hyper-localized and easy for non-tech-savvy users. And even their overall strengths and weaknesses. Does one have a huge existing user base, while another is smaller but deeply trusted locally?
That level of detail really helps you see the landscape clearly.
Exactly. This detailed comparison helps you spot potential gaps, opportunities, threats, and just understand the competitive dynamics with real precision.
That makes so much sense. You absolutely can't position yourself effectively if you don't know exactly who you're up against and what they're doing well, or maybe more importantly, what they're not doing well.
Exactly. You need to know the terrain. Which leads us logically to step 02, identifying and choosing points of parity, POPs, and points of difference, PODs.
Okay, POPs and PODs. What are they?
This is where you determine what makes your brand fundamentally similar to your competitors, the table stakes, and what makes you distinctly different, your unique advantages.
Right.
So first, you need to identify potential POPs and PODs. POPs, points of parity, are essentially the must-have features or benefits. These are the baseline expectations. They're what all credible brands in your category simply have to offer. If you don't have these, you're not even considered a legitimate player in the game.
Like the basic requirements to even compete.
Exactly. For that crowdfunding platform example, POPs would probably include things like a secure payment system, absolutely non-negotiable for trust, intuitive tools for campaigners to create and edit their campaigns, a dashboard for donors to track their contributions, just basic expected functionality and transparency.
Got it. Table stakes and PODs.
PODs, points of difference, are your unique selling points. These are the unique perks, strength, or benefits that truly set your brand apart. They give customers a clear, compelling reason to choose you over a competitor. These are your distinctive advantages, your true differentiators.
Where you really shine.
Precisely. Then, once you've identified potential POPs and PODs, you move to strategically choosing which ones to focus on.
How do you choose?
For choosing POPs, you primarily look at what all the major competitors already offer. You identify the minimum expectations from your target audience based on market research, and you make sure you include any established industry standards necessary for legitimacy. You have to meet these expectations just to be considered a viable option. Credibility is key.
Okay, cover the basics. And choosing PODs.
For choosing PODs, this is more strategic. You actively look for gaps or weaknesses in your competitors' offerings. What are they not doing well? You focus on attributes or benefits that your specific target audience truly values, but maybe isn't getting effectively from existing options. And crucially, you have to ensure it's something your brand can deliver exceptionally well and, importantly, sustainably over the long term. It has to be authentic to you.
Makes sense. What would be examples for that crowdfunding platform?
Well, for that platform targeting Nepal, potential PODs might include offering full local language support, maybe in Nepali, seamless integration with popular local mobile payment systems like M-Pesa, Isewa, or Kalti, something most global platforms probably don't offer. Or perhaps a unique community project discovery feature specifically tailored for finding hyper-local campaigns within Nepal.
Things that are highly valuable to that specific audience.
Yeah.
Hard for the big global players to replicate easily.
Exactly. Unique, valuable, and deliverable by you.
Okay, so POPs get you onto the competitive playing field, and PODs are how you actually score points and stand out from the crowd.
That's a great analogy. Perfect. And that brings us logically to the final step. Step 03. Establishing brand positioning.
Bringing it all together.
Yes, this is the culmination. This is where you clearly define and articulate exactly how you want your target audience to perceive your brand in relation to competitors. It's your desired mental real estate, that unique spot in their minds, stated precisely.
And how do you actually implement that? Make it stick?
Well, implementing the positioning involves several key ongoing actions. First, you must have a deep, almost intimate understanding of your target audience. Their needs, their values, their pain points, their aspirations. Your positioning has to genuinely resonate with them. This isn't superficial demographic data. It requires deep, empathetic insight.
Know who you're talking to.
Second, you need to continuously analyze competitors. We said it before, the competitive landscape is dynamic, it's always shifting. So ongoing monitoring is absolutely essential to ensure your positioning remains relevant and, importantly, differentiated. A winning position today might be copied or become obsolete tomorrow if you're not watching.
Stay vigilant.
Third, you must communicate your positioning consistently. That desired perception needs to be reinforced relentlessly across all marketing channels, every single customer touch point, to solidify it in the minds of consumers. Consistency builds clarity and recognition.
Hammer it home again.
Pretty much. And finally, you have to revisit and refine your positioning over time. Brand positioning is not a static, set-in-stone thing. Market conditions change, consumer tastes evolve, competitors react, new technologies emerge. So your positioning needs regular review and adjustment to maintain its effectiveness and ensure it always remains sharp, compelling, and relevant. It's a living strategy.
Okay, so once you've done the hard work of understanding your competitive frame, identifying your POPs and PODs, and establishing your desired positioning, that place you want to own in the customer's mind. The natural next step is figuring out how you actually make that position real and tangible. How do you truly stand out? What makes you different, unique, and compellingly better in the eyes of the customer?
Yeah, exactly.
These are your differentiation strategies, I guess, and they're all about creating that unshakable competitive edge that supports your positioning.
Precisely. This raises that important question. How do brands actually carve out a truly unique identity in what's often a very crowded marketplace? How do they make their PODs real? The source identifies 4 key differentiation strategies that brands can employ. Often, they use a combination of these to achieve that distinctiveness.
Okay, 4 ways to differentiate. What's the first one?
First, there's product differentiation. This is probably the most obvious one. It focuses on the tangible aspects of your offering itself.
Like features and quality.
Yeah, its unique features, maybe superior performance compared to rivals, an innovative design, remarkable reliability, or exceptional durability. It's about what your product does and how well it does it compared to the competition.
Give an example.
Apple is often cited here again. Their innovative product design, that seamless ecosystem integration where all their devices work together smoothly. Their products aren't just functional. They often have an aesthetic appeal, they're designed to be intuitive, and they connect seamlessly. That creates a unique and often superior user experience that's actually quite difficult for competitors to replicate just by matching specs on a list.
Okay, so differentiate the product itself. What's the second way?
Second, we have service differentiation. This strategy goes beyond the core product itself. It focuses on things like superior delivery, maybe expert installation services, comprehensive customer training, or invaluable consulting services that add significant value around the product.
So it's the how you support the what.
Exactly. Think of the entire customer experience surrounding the product. Nordstrom, the department store, is an excellent example often used here. They're legendary for their customer service policy.
Right, the return policy.
Yeah, their willingness to take back almost anything, no questions asked. Their active sales associates who build relationships. Their overall focus on creating an exceptional, personalized customer experience. That differentiates them powerfully, even when they're selling many of the same clothing brands as other retailers. It creates a memorable, positive interaction that fosters deep loyalty.
So it's about making the customer feel incredibly valued and supported throughout their entire journey with you, not just at the point of sale, but maybe long after as well.
Precisely. That end-to-end service experience. And third, related but distinct, is people differentiation.
Differentiating through your employees.
Exactly. This strategy focuses explicitly on hiring and rigorously training better people than your competitors do. The goal is to create a tangible advantage through the superior competence, the courtesy, the credibility, the responsiveness, and the communication skills of your employees.
So the human element becomes the differentiator.
Yes, the direct human interaction. For many service businesses, think hotels, restaurants, airlines, consulting firms, this is often the most critical differentiator. Imagine a luxury hotel where every single staff member, from the doorman to the concierge to the housekeeping staff, is impeccably trained, seems to anticipate your needs before you even ask, and is genuinely friendly and helpful.
Yeah, that makes a huge difference.
It really does. That human touch, that superior interaction can be an incredibly powerful differentiator. And it's often very difficult for competitors to replicate just by changing their product features or lowering their prices. Your employees effectively become living, breathing ambassadors of your brand promise.
Okay, product, service, people. What's the fourth strategy?
And fourth, there's image differentiation. This one is interesting. It focuses on creating powerful, distinctive brand images that appeal more to social and psychological needs rather than purely functional ones.
It's about what the brand represents and how it makes consumers feel.
Exactly. It's about the symbolism, the personality, the story. Harley-Davidson is a prime example here.
Bikes.
Well, they don't just sell motorcycles, do they? They sell a whole identity, a rebellious, freedom-oriented brand image. It evokes adventure, independence, maybe a bit of outlaw spirit, and a strong sense of belonging to an exclusive community.
Right. Even people who don't ride might buy the t-shirt.
Precisely. That powerful image allows them to command incredible loyalty and premium pricing, often from people who identify deeply with the lifestyle it projects, even if they never own the actual product. Similarly, think about Nike. They sell inspiration, achievement, the just do it attitude, not just athletic shoes and apparel.
Got it. So image can be a very powerful differentiator on its own.
Very powerful.
It really seems clear, listening to these four, that the most effective differentiation probably often combines multiple dimensions, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
It creates a more complex, multi-layered competitive advantage, something that's much harder for competitors to simply copy. It's not just one thing they have to replicate, but a whole symphony of interconnected efforts working together.
You've nailed it. The most sustainable differentiation strategies rarely rely on just one dimension. They address multiple areas simultaneously, maybe a great product combined with outstanding service and a compelling image. That creates a much thicker, more defensible competitive advantage that's incredibly difficult to imitate.
So how do you choose which strategy or combination to pursue?
Ultimately, the specific differentiation approach or mix of approaches should be carefully selected. It needs to be based on a realistic assessment of the organization's unique capabilities and strengths. What can you genuinely do better than others? It must address real unmet needs or desires of your target customer. What do they actually care about? And ideally, it should target a competitive white space, an area where competitors are weak or absent. It's about finding that strategic sweet spot where your unique strengths meet a genuine market need that isn't being fully satisfied by anyone else.
Okay, this has been fantastic, getting to the theory and the frameworks. But now, let's make it really concrete. This is a perfect opportunity, I think, to see all these concepts, brand equity, building it, managing it, strategy, mantras, positioning, differentiation, actually playing out in the real world.
Theory into practice.
Yeah. Let's bring it all together by looking at the incredible journey of a brand most of us know very well, Nivea.
The Nivea case study is genuinely a masterclass in global brand building, management, and adaptation over a very long period. It's fascinating to delve into their century-long journey and see how they navigated such a dynamic market, especially in a complex place like India.
Okay, let's start with the background. What do we need to know about Nivea?
Well, Nivea itself is owned by a German company, Beiersdorf AG. They're a major player, holding about a 30% share in global beauty and skincare categories, operating in something like 169 countries. So, huge scale.
Wow.
And Nivea itself, the brand, celebrated its 100th anniversary back in 2011. That speaks volumes about its legacy and the deep consumer trust it's built over generations.
100 years, that's incredible staying power.
It really is. Now, focusing on their entry into India, which the case study highlights, Nivea India officially started operations in 2006. They entered a beauty and personal care market in India that was already valued at around $6.5 billion back then.
It's growing fast, presumably.
It's exploding, really. That market grew to $21 billion by 2025, and it's now projected to hit maybe $38 billion by 2028. Huge potential, but also huge competition. They faced really established, powerful brands already dominating the shelves, like HUL, Hindustan Unilever, with brands like Pond's and Dove, plus Gillette, Godrej, and others.
So a tough market to crack, even for a global giant. How did they approach it?
Well, for their initial entry, Nivea very shrewdly leveraged the global success and recognition of its most iconic product, the classic Nivea creme, that simple blue tin.
Ah, everyone knows the blue tin.
Exactly. It already had this immense reservoir of trust, familiarity, and positive associations globally, which gave them a strong foothold to build upon in India. It was their anchor.
Smart. Okay, so how did they devise their branding strategy for India?
Nivea adopted a quite sophisticated sub-branding architecture, all sitting under the main Nivea master brand. This structure was key. It allowed them to strategically extend the brand into many new categories without diluting the core Nivea identity people trusted.
What kinds of extensions?
They expanded significantly into broader skincare with lines like Nivea body lotions and Nivea hand creams. Into hygiene, introducing Nivea deodorants and various bath care products. They also moved into hair care and even ventured into makeup.
Wow, quite a stretch from just the blue tin.
Definitely. And they didn't stop there. They further created highly specific sub-brand extensions, tailoring products based on demographics or specific purposes. Think Nivea Baby for age-specific care, Nivea Sun for sun protection needs, and very strategically, Nivea for Men, targeting the distinct needs of male consumers.
Nivea Men became huge, didn't it?
It really did. And their core strategy underlying all this expansion was a masterstroke, really. It was about finding the perfect balance, balancing their rich, trustworthy legacy epitomized by that timeless Nivea creme with a clear drive for modernity and relevance, delivered through these new extensions that appealed to evolving consumer needs and specific market segments in India.
That's incredibly smart. keeping that classic trusted identity but not being afraid to branch out, innovate, and target new segments and needs. It sounds like a delicate balancing act.
It absolutely is. And this balance was fundamental to how they approached building and managing their brand equity in India. How did they build it? Through powerful emotional storytelling and an unwavering consistency in delivering product quality people could rely on.
Let's break that down, the emotional connection.
Yeah, they ran some very effective campaigns, things like the My Skin Moment campaign, and others featuring really poignant mother-child relationships. These ads didn't just sell lotion, they deeply emphasized core values like care, trust, nurture, family connection.
Tapping into universal emotions.
Exactly. And their big 100 Years of Skincare campaign brilliantly reinforced that incredible legacy, connecting generations of users to the brand and leveraging a century of accumulated goodwill and trust.
And the product quality piece.
Their performance in the market spoke for itself. They achieved stable, significant market share in key categories. For instance, holding around 14.6% in deodorants, and Nivea Men achieving a massive 28% global share in men's grooming. This kind of market success reflects consistent reliability and quality, which in turn reinforces consumer trust through tangible positive experiences with the products.
So the product delivered on the promise.
Yes. And one more thing on equity building, their CSR initiatives. Nivea actively supported social causes, like programs for underprivileged mothers and promoting children's education in India. This significantly enhanced their brand goodwill. It showed a commitment beyond just selling products, which resonates strongly with consumers' values today.
Right, doing good while doing well. Now, the brand positioning process, especially for Nivea Men, sounds like a key part of their success. How did that work?
Yes, the Nivea Men story is a fascinating example of identifying a powerful unmet need and executing a strategic repositioning.
What did they find in their research?
Their market research uncovered a really significant gap in the Indian market. They found widespread dissatisfaction among men with the existing grooming products, most of which were primarily designed for and marketed to women. Get this. A staggering 84% of Indian men reported borrowing skincare and grooming products from female family members.
84%, that's huge. A clear unmet need.
Absolutely. It clearly indicated a large, underserved male consumer segment looking for products tailored to them. So Nivea decided to reposition Nivea Men. They strategically shifted its core message. Instead of a generic what men want approach, they adopted a more empowering, self-improvement-focused tagline. It starts with you.
It starts with you. What was the idea behind that?
It emphasized self-care, confidence, taking initiative for men. It was a nuanced but powerful shift, moving beyond simplistic masculine stereotypes towards a more modern idea of men taking care of themselves.
Yeah, and how did they execute this repositioning?
Their execution was smart. To amplify this new masculine appeal and reach their target audience effectively, they partnered with high-profile platforms. They collaborated with the Chennai Super Kings, a hugely popular IPL cricket team, tapping into that massive male audience. They also leveraged well-known male celebrities like the actor Arjun Kapoor as brand ambassadors. These associations created a strong link between Nivea Men and modern Indian masculinity, sports, fitness, and an active lifestyle.
That's a brilliant example of identifying a very specific, underserved niche men who wanted their own grooming products and then tailoring everything from the core message, it starts with you, to the strategic partnerships, cricket, celebrities, to really own that space. It feels incredibly deliberate and effective.
It truly was a well-orchestrated move. Now, if we look quickly at Nivea's overall competitive frame of reference in India, it's complex because they operate across so many different segments.
Right. They compete with different players in different aisles.
Exactly. In skincare, they're up against giants like HUL with Dove, Pond's, and P&G with Olay. In deodorants, they face strong players like Axe, Dove, and Park Avenue. And in men's grooming, they compete fiercely with established brands like Gillette and Garnier Men. They have to be acutely aware of a wide array of diverse competitors across their entire product portfolio, constantly monitoring moves in each segment.
A constant battle on multiple fronts. What about their POPs and PODs? How did Nivea define those?
They were meticulous about this. Their POPs, points of parity, were essentially the basic skincare benefits everyone expects. Things like moisturization, maybe basic sun protection, and also offering products at generally affordable price points. These are the expected baseline requirements to even be considered a credible skincare brand in the mass market.
The must-haves.
Yeah.
And their PODs. What made Nivea stand out?
Their PODs, points of difference, were really built on a few key pillars. First, that extraordinary heritage and legacy of over 100 years. That deep-rooted trust and familiarity is something competitors simply couldn't replicate overnight. Second, their commitment to gender-specific innovations, like developing alcohol-free deodorants specifically tailored for men's skin needs. And third, their consistent use of emotional storytelling in their advertising, focusing on those universal themes like the mother-child bond, care, and trust, which resonated deeply with consumers on a personal, human level beyond just product features.
Heritage, innovation, and emotion. Powerful combination. And finally, what about their internal guide, their brand mantra?
Nivea's brand mantra is understood to be something like, trusted care for every skin.
Trusted care for every skin. Short, simple.
Exactly. It perfectly encapsulates their core values. Trust from the heritage, care from the emotional connection and product efficacy, and every skin highlights their ambition for broad reach, innovation across segments, and providing solutions for all ages and genders. It promises premium, reliable skincare solutions for everyone. It's a mantra that effectively guides both internal decisions and external communications, reinforcing that consistent message of nurturing protection across their vast product line.
Wow. The Nivea case study really does bring everything we've discussed today vividly to life, doesn't it?
It really does.
It shows how a brand, even one with a century of history and massive global recognition, needs to be constantly aware of its market, strategically position itself, innovate relentlessly, differentiate effectively, and connect emotionally to maintain and grow its incredible value. It's clearly a living, evolving entity, not something static.
Precisely. It's never done. #X. Final thoughts and call to action. You know, what's truly fascinating here, really building on that Nivea case study, is how powerfully it underscores that even these huge global brands with incredibly deep heritage, they must continuously adapt. They have to refine their strategy, tweak their positioning, find new ways to differentiate.
Constant vigilance.
Yeah, they have to do all that just to remain relevant and continue to resonate with constantly evolving consumer needs and market dynamics. It just highlights the intensely dynamic, ongoing nature of brand building. It's never truly finished, is it? It's this continuous journey of understanding your audience, innovating, and finding ways to connect with people on a deeper, more meaningful level.
That's such an important takeaway, I think. Whether you listening are maybe building your own business or managing a team within a larger company, or perhaps just trying to understand why certain products or companies resonate so strongly with you personally. These insights into brand value, equity, strategy, positioning, they're incredibly actionable and insightful. They help you see why certain brands just seem to stick in our minds, build that loyalty, command that premium while others struggle. And you get a real appreciation for what actually goes into creating that powerful, enduring magic behind the brands we love.
Well said.
Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into the fascinating world of building brand value.
My pleasure. Always great to discuss this stuff.
If you found this insightful, and we hope you did, we definitely encourage you to subscribe to the MCU-MBAFC YouTube channel for more discussions like this. And don't forget to explore even more original content and presentations over on SlideGround. As always, the links for all of that are right there in our bio.
Definitely check them out.
Until next time, keep diving deep.